Last week, we had demos a lot. We had Zoltan about design, Mike about AI, probably. Jasma about asset building. We had Victoria, who was not sure if it would be in Prague, in Amsterdam, there or then or when. But today, Victoria knows everything.
Yeah, thank you for the great introduction. So I would like to tell to the audience that we have the official location of the Orchard Harvest 2025, which will be Prague. And now we are checking out a few options for the venue and the date, but one thing that's for sure that it will be in the autumn. So please be prepared, and we will come with updates as soon as possible.
So does it mean after September 21st?
No, after August.
So it could be in the summer.
In December?
In the summer, because you said in the autumn. And
I said autumn because we also checked out another conference which will be in November. It's not sure. It's just an option. If maybe we could organize it together, but in my opinion, the September is more realistic. But if maybe we can do some agreement with this other .NET conference, then it could make it to November, maybe.
After August.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
thank you.
yes, and we will try to negotiate the best price for the community, so we don't want to spend more money.
Like this. Check. And how do I check a bit? How do you write Czech Republic?
Not this way for sure. I think it.
Oh, it's complicated. It's complicated. Let's do it in French. It's much easier to write. Here. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have demos? No, Lauren wants to say something. No.
No, I just wanted to say thank you to Victoria. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, so far it was just about finding the city that we already defined like 6 months ago. So good job, Victoria. Kidding.
Thank you.
Now the hard part is in front of us and you, mostly not me. Did you get my email?
Yes, and did you get my reply?
Oh, no, I didn't check.
Yeah, I already
was
replied
busy.
to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I was quick.
Good, thank you. Demos, anyone with demos? Okay, no demos. Is there a soccer game I'm missing? I don't think there's a soccer game today, right? One doesn't say anything, so no soccer game. Demos, new demos, topics, harvest, status. Status, I updated everything. So last week was the event. So here, Jasmine StackExchange remove copy action for vue-multiselect. during the demo last week, we saw there was an asset that was generated apparently by mistake, so probably that thing. And now this is updated multi-select. So this one was the one that we saw that was not up to date, probably. And this one was removed. Related? Maybe not. Maybe if this one is removed. 2.0 release notes fixing the instructions to find the SMS settings in your menu. Interesting. Yeah. So updating the 2.0 release notes on the main branch. At least this is where we see them. Probably we link them for the documentation. That would make sense then. Update we need to include a link to the quick start. God, I can increase the size of this thing. Maybe it's better. Update we need to include a link to the quick start cloud function. What is it? Too complicated, too many things. I don't understand. Probably deploying some cloud stuff, not sure with all the things required. Interesting. Add condition for user moderation and email confirmation. Phone registration. Add condition. It's too big. I can't read many things here. If not context of concepts and in and okay, so we don't sign in. If we say cancel sign in, or if users are moderated, or if users must validate email. But if they are validated, or maybe this is true if they still need to. No, that's an option. This worries me to just check the option without checking the current status. Let's see. Let's see the PR 17611. I have a link. I don't have a link. 17611. No description. No description, no issues, and just a check. But why? a comment. We'll see. Fix concurrency issue and add OpenID authentication test. So this one was interesting because I had to do something. If I don't have to do anything, it's not interesting, right? 17.603. Let's look at what happened. 603. It started there. And also, probably better there, but better there. Here. Look, this one. Where is the one from this one? No, the one from Mike. Can't find the one I want, but the one from George is here.
I think that's the PR with the test, with the unit test. It's the first tab.
Yes, but what is this one? What is this one? This one, oh, Pixie, well, that thing.
Yeah, I think so.
But this one, no,
There
that's
was
not what
no
I want.
issue. There was no issue.
Yeah, might not create an issue with that. I'm not sure.
No.
Okay.
He did not.
Well, at least he reported the issue to me a month ago, at least, in the chat. An issue that he was seeing on his app, that was an issue with concurrent usages of the session. And how you see that is during an authentication using OpenID code. There would be like an exception when you was trying a flow to validate an email or something like that. And it could always report that, but we would not be able to get why. And I could see the stack traces, and we could understand that, yeah, two things are accessing the session, but we didn't understand why. So Mike decided to create a functional test repro, and he managed to get something reporting the issue with these tests, trying the same flow that he was seeing in production, using OpenID, simulating someone so enabling all the necessary features for OpenID, and then simulating a user logging in and the callbacks to the OpenID server and tokens, the refresh tokens maybe also, well, all these things. And then in the end, after a day of working on this test, he managed to get it failing. He made the test that was supposed to work, made it fail with the same error he was seeing in production, meaning the session issue. And at that point, George said, I know.
At that point, it was quite easy to debug and find the issue in YesSql.
Exactly. When you can report a failure, it's much easier to understand how it happens, because you can even try to remove stuff. Oh, let me remove this code and see what's happening. So then George looked at YesSql and said, hey, this thing here is wrong. He said, if you call that thing here, it's sad that we can't see. Oh, we can. It's beautiful. It's pointing to the commit before the fix. So here, when we call flush internal, when we call flush to submit the things to the database, we have this safeguard here, which says add +1 to someone that is currently trying to save the entity, to update the entity, to touch the entity. And then in the end, we say exit to say -1. And if the counter is more than 1, it means two threads are concurrently trying to enter this block of code, which is updating the content item. Okay, we can't do that. That's why we have here the check for thread safety. And George was like, but if there is an exception during this code, there is a catch here that calls cancel async. The finally will still be executed to do -1. So it's perfect. It's like +1 at the top, and we always go -1. But this code here, if it's invoked, it will do enter a +1 again. And +1 means +2 means exception. This was the exception that was happening. we would see a thread safety exception when actually the exception was for something else. And in this case in the case of the test, it was for a concurrency exception. Or concurrency, yeah. A concurrency exception, meaning in Orchard we have a thing, or even YesSql, there is a thing, but it's handled in Orchard to say if two people change the same content item at the same time, we want to fail the second one saying someone change your code. Change your content item in the meantime, please try again. And there is this check in OpenID. OpenID does that. It says check concurrency true to be sure that two transactions won't try to change the same token at the same time. And that's what was happening. So if I go back. So here, the cancel async, in this case, the case we just showed, should not increase the number. Just in all cases it should, but not this one, or in other cases. So in two cases of cancel async. Cancel and check, and cancel without checking. And then the fix was merged. Tests were added. Oh, Mike fixed the issue first, and then I tried to understand, and I found an easier, more straightforward fix. And by splitting the cancel into two cancel, the cancel async internal, the one that doesn't do the check, and the one that does the check. And you see, we call the correct one whenever it makes sense, that doesn't check. And then there is still the old one that does check. So cool. And then some tests. Two things first. Oh, there are two things. So first, a test to do some concurrent access on everything at the same time with and without the thread safety checks. And they should work in both cases. And then a very specific test to ensure that when we call cancel, it doesn't fail. You have the correct exception. That's good. And to simulate an exception, Mike was creating, trying to save an index, which we can't do. So it would go in the cancel and then it won't trigger anymore. So that's good. And then Mike created another PR, which might be still open. Yes. It created a PR to run all the tests with the thread safety check to ensure that we are not missing any code that could trigger the same problem somewhere else. This PR is failing, by the way, so we have to find out why. Maybe the tests are wrongly written, or maybe there is another problem we don't see. Timeout. Maybe there's another problem. Maybe there is a locking issue somewhere with that thing. So we'll check. So that's the story of this thing here. So it's a test, and it's also updating YesSql. It's adding the test, so we will test that again. And then some helpers for the test, and then it's updating YesSql to the version that doesn't have the bug anymore. Now it's all perfect. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, George. Fix show hide logic for OpenID application secret. Collapse expand logic in JavaScript. Okay, trust Mike. Then applying the changes we made for YesSql and related changes in OpenID and the migrations onto one branch, just for when we want to release batch release is the new version of YesSql, because the bug could also happen in 2.0 or 2.1. Then Mike defined a default transaction isolation to read committed, because by default we were setting read uncommitted. This is the default in SQL, I think. Or maybe we were setting it, no, we were setting it read uncommitted. Now we are saying it's an option. You can change it, and the default is read committed. If you want to go back to read uncommitted, then you can do that, but it's safer to do read committed. And it should not impact our perf that much because we are mostly read-only, so no writes, so that should not impact that. Hopefully, at the level of rate we do request, it should be fine. See the option here. Update doc requirements .txt. Okay. Background task editor, fixing that hitting enter in the schedule field shouldn't trigger reset. Oof, I don't know what it means. Background task editor, hitting enter. I see. When we hit enter, we don't want to trigger some action here. So danger. From ID to type button. Okay, we trust that this doesn't trigger the reset automatically. Then apparently renovate got unblocked somehow, and we have all these PR. Docker, this is for the test. SDK, minor versions, Castle.Core. Not a minor version. So this is interesting because it's a very low level library, and I always wonder what's happening in there. Release 5.1, and what are we? 5.1. Maybe this one could impact us in a good way. I mean, maybe we could use that. I'm not sure. Is it just a new overload that we can use, or is it a different implementation? That's the question. Just an overload. Yeah. Okay. And Castle.Core, identity packages. Okay. Update.net monorepo. What does it mean? What is updating all the net references? This is doing it correctly. It's beautiful. Updating global JSON. Interesting. So now it means you will need the new SDK to be able to be launcher. That's not something that we would require because we can use the 101. We don't need the 201, I believe. So now you will need to. So if I try to build, it should fail. Yeah, but I have that. So if I do .NET version, I have 201. You have updated Visual Studio or reinstalled this version until if you just have 9.0.101, you won't be able to build DocumentFormat. So this needs to be updated. Our CI is using the version that is in this file, so this is automatic. It's removing stuff that is not used. Renovate did that. That's weird. It removed all the things that are unused and private, so that's safe. That's interesting. I didn't know it could do that. It's cool. Markdig update. SDK for testing, Elasticsearch, NLog, HtmlSanitizer, new version. Always beta. Version 9, but beta. Is there any non-beta version actually? There are some non-beta versions, so why are we using beta versions? We should not. There is no reason to. Maybe because we were on beta. You see, it went from 8 to something from 8 months ago to this one now. So it's like it's picking the suffix that we use. We should remove the beta. Someone send a PR and goes back to this one and removes the beta, so maybe Renovate won't use the beta anymore. OpenXml and final PR for today is sham address option for form widget-TextArea. I don't. Okay, I think I understand what's happening. So, what do we have? Okay, this is the forms module. I can see a bug already. I believe the rows field should be greater than or equal to 1. I think that is an English mistake here, fixable, but here, or equal to 1. And yet, strictly less than 1. So I think this doesn't match the text here. Or does it? If I put 1, that's no, I'm not a good developer. I don't understand how to code. But that should be good, right? Because 0 is wrong. Okay, that's good. Who is George? You want to get fired?
No, it was
That's
just
good.
funny. I'm also sometimes
The
very
test is
stupid.
confusing. The test is confusing. It's confusing me.
It is, yeah. And it's hard. Programming is hard.
Sure. Try to save your face like this. Those things. Okay. Cool. So here, input text area part editor of the model, checking the rows number. This is a new property. See the new property. Text area. Okay. If you don't set anything, the attribute won't be set like it was before. And then text area fields edit. This is the editor for the rows property. it should be validated. And it can be one from less. Looks good. Okay. Questions? And PRs and issues. Still, it's going more library updates. That's good. That just started to work for everything. That is important. There are some important fixes in this one. In terms of performance, there was an important bug fix in this version, probably in terms of memory usage. So that needs to be merged. Let's check. Seems safe. As it points to the, it doesn't show the, yes, it, oh, beautiful. I love it. That's what I love. Okay. So what's new here is culture, applied culture encasing formatters, done pilot. Dump all dependencies, including pilot. Fixed race condition with, oh, there is no. So this version doesn't contain the important bug fix I was mentioning in the previous version, but at least there is this one. The race condition is include render from statement. Yeah, there was a thread safety issue here. This is quite an important thing because if you have an include or what the one with our requirement, include or what render from, if you use this tag, I lost the click. Okay, include render, then you could get the content of a file that is not the file that you want because it's sharing some buffer concurrently and it's bad. So you could have like corrupted content. So that's bad. So this is fixing it. Try to be clever with the lock apparently, or this is for a test. No, it tried to be clever, but it didn't have to be clever. Sometimes not being clever is better. Or not trying to be if you're not. So now it's fixed. And how did I fix it? Dash template, I think. Oh yeah, it's a copy. You see here, cache template here was used directly. This instance was used directly. But this from statement is cached across all the requests. This is the AST representing the liquid template. So every instance will access the same property. There was a semaphore to try to fix that, but it was not sufficient because it was still accessing the same thing. So now it's a copy of the reference. We use a copy of the reference, and then when it's set for everyone. So something like that. It doesn't need to be a semaphore anymore. It's fixing the issue. It was done with really fun statements. Okay, little story. That's an important fix to take, and Jint just updates squash merge to better, faster code thanks to Marco Lama. Refactoring of projects. Workflow trimming, settings, UI from Benedek. Benedek starting to work on HtmlSanitizer. I saw a PR and now another one. This one is to provide an option to allow people to use either collapsed or expanded flow part section, so back part, for instance. So they can be expanded by default to you. This one is about storing user changes in the trail. I put some comments for privacy reasons, but that's about it. If you some things that we look during triage, we triaged up there last week. So good. Comments, topics, questions? Late demos? Anything? Complaints? Jokes? Okay, then we're done. See you on Thursday. I don't know what time. I don't know if everyone is at the new time now, but you are there, so you will be there on Thursday. George, what time is it for you on Thursday?
It's the different, right?
The new one?
It's 6 o'clock, I guess.
No, it's not a new one.
So still the old one?
It's still 1 hour
Okay.
early.
You haven't changed. Remember, when you change your time, you have to change also Oshio's meeting time. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. See you on
Thank
Thursday
you.
or next week. Bye.
See you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.